Drishti IAS is pleased to revise its program specially targeting GS Paper 4, which deals with ethics, integrity, and aptitude. In this episode of the program, Ethics, Definitions and Concepts, we will discuss ethics in international relations and issues with funding. Let us begin with international ethics. So, what is international ethics? International ethics is an area of international relations theory which concerns the extent and scope of ethical obligations between states in an epoch of globalization. International ethics offers understanding into how nations and other entities treat other nations and its people. International ethics may be elaborated as that which enables one to participate more actively in shaping and building a good international community. International ethics guides the international community towards tackling global challenges. Examples: global warming, climate change, which are collective problems and which require actions from numerous nations. Now, let us focus on the various sources of ethical guidance in international relations. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by the UN General Assembly on 10th December 1948, sets out for the first time fundamental human rights to be universally protected. The Geneva Conventions established the standards of international law for humanitarian treatment in war. The 1951 Refugee Convention defines who is a refugee and sets out the rights of individuals who are granted asylum and the responsibilities of nations that grant asylum. The Paris Climate Deal under UNFCCC ensures climate justice by adopting common but differentiated responsibility principle in climate resolve. The World Trade Organization and its TRIPS agreement address the ethical issues involved in global trade and intellectual property rights. Now, let us take a look at the significance of ethics in international relations. Lack of ethics in international relations has been the cause of wars and genocide many times in history, like the World Wars, Hitler's genocide against Jews, etc. Ethics helps to avoid the ego clash and ideological clash between two or more nations. Example: the disruption between India and Pakistan relationship can be avoided if both take a decision based on ethics. Ethics aims at peaceful world, respect for all and equality while forming international organizations, declarations and forums. India's moral value of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam will help in strengthening brotherhood across the humanities. Ethics provides an ecosystem where there is mutual trust, goodwill and confidence among all the countries and helps to foster international relations. Ethics of cooperation helps in solving the issues like combating law and order problems with cross-border impact. Ethics brings transparency and accountability in international financial administration. Now, focusing on ethical issues involved in international funding. International funding often compromises strategic autonomy of a nation to decide on its own course of development. Usually, all nations have diverse cultural and ethnic settings. Thus, imposed conditions to execute a specific model of development leaves the rights and choices of people violated. The concept of sovereign equality of all nations is the core of international law, and it is violated when the assisting entity imposes conditionalities while giving funding. Example: the IMF bailout India's economic crisis in 1991 with the condition of economic liberalization, LPG reforms. Economic sovereignty is the essential aspect of the legitimacy of democracy. International funding mostly undermines economic sovereignty. Philanthropic colonialism. Many times, foreign funding is used as a foothold to exert influence and increase presence in the host nation. Example: China funding of Pakistan's part of OBOR has trapped Pakistan in debt. Encourage cessational flames. A lot of times, in lieu of humanitarian aid, funds are diverted to fund cessational movements. Example: foreign funding from certain nations encouraged the Khalistan movement in India in the past. Though foreign funding is an important resource for many humanitarian, developmental projects all throughout the world, we should be aware of its potential misuse. And at the end, looking over some of the previous year questions related to the topic. In 2017, the following question was asked: without commonly shared and widely entrenched moral values and obligations, neither the law, nor democratic government, nor even the market economy will function properly. What do you understand by this statement? Explain with illustration in the contemporary times. In 2015, the following question was asked: what is meant by environmental ethics? Why is it important to study? Discuss any one environmental issue from the viewpoint of environmental ethics. And finally, in 2013, the following question was asked: the good of an individual is contained in the good of all. What do you understand about this statement? How can this principle be implemented in public life? With this, we conclude today's episode of Ethics, Definitions and Concepts. Until next time, stay safe and thank you. To watch our videos in Hindi, subscribe to our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS.